Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Matzeus and today we have a new deck profile. The deck of today is Dark Magician, a very cheap version and without any other support, just Dark Magician, a pure Dark Magician. I built this deck because it was requested by you and I'm very happy. As you know, the Dark Magician is my main deck, is the one that I use to start playing again Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's very important for me. Okay, let's talk about our deck of Dark Magician, low budget. Okay, so this is a very cheap version of Dark Magician. In fact, as you can see, there are no expensive cards like the Dark Magicians, Soul Servant and also Magician Souls. It wasn't easy to balance this deck, but I think that I reached a good point. So let's see together what we have. I will not explain all the effect of the card, just understand that I explained the effect of this deck tons and tons of time, so I'm a bit tired of explaining the same things. Okay, anyway, 3 copies of Dark Magicians, 2 copies of the new Timaeus, now 2 copies of Chronicle Magician. This is a new card, a new support for this deck, and you can find it in Ghost from the Past Season 2. We can special summon this card when we normal or special summon a monster that has as original attack or defense 2500 points. Okay, in that case we can special summon this card from the end, and if we control a Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon, we can tribute this card and let the monster gains 2500 attack and defense points. Then we have 2 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician, 1 copy of Dark Magician Girl, 3 copies of Magician's Rod, 2 copies of Magician's Robe, then we have 1 copy of Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This is a card that we use just to draw cards together the other spellbook spell cards. Then we have 2 copies of Effect Veiler, and now we can start with our spell cards, 2 copies of Dark Magical Circle, 1 copy of Magician Salvation, 1 copy of Dark Magic Attack, 1 copy of Secret of Dark Magic, then 1 copy of Illusion Magic. I'm not a big fan of this card, but I think that in this deck profile is very useful because we can search it with Magician Rod and just tribute a spellcaster that we control to add up to 2 Dark Magician. So, with those Dark Magician we can do a lot of stuff very useful. Maybe we have Eternal Soul, maybe we have the new Timaeus, so it can help us in finding new solution, a new option to our game. Then we have 1 copy of Change of Heart, very beautiful card that it backs in our game. I don't know if I'm happy, I don't know if I'm not, I don't know yet. I suggest you to buy for the moment the poorest card that you can find, okay? Just spend a few cents on this card because Konami unbanned this card and very likely Konami will also reprint this card. So just wait for the reprint and then you will have your Change of Heart nice and shiny. 2 copies of Raigeki, very powerful card, we need it in this deck. You can also replace it if you want with a Kaiju. Then 2 copies of Super Polymerization, very powerful card in all the game actually because it cannot be negated when activated, so perfect. 1 copy of Spellbook of Knowledge, 1 copy of Spellbook of Secrets, and then we have 1 copy of Mystic Mine. Now, Mystic Mine, I know. A lot of people hate this card. To be honest, the deck is a low budget one, so sometimes we can see a very bad end and Mystic Mine can help us. Then we have 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Called by the Grave. And for our traps, 2 copies of Eternal Soul, 2 copies of Summon Limit. Then we have 1 copy of Waking the Dragon. When our opponent discovers that we play Dark Magician, he will probably side some back row removal, okay? Because as you all know, the weak point of this deck is this one, Eternal Soul. When we have Eternal Soul and we do not have our Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, to protect it, we are in trouble, because if our opponents destroy the Eternal Soul, all of our monsters will go to the graveyard. But if our opponents play like Twin Twister and destroy Eternal Soul, Awaken the Dragon, we still have a chance to resist. When we have this card set and leaves the field for an opponent's effect and now is in the graveyard or it is banished, we can special summon a monster from our deck or extra deck. We can move on with our extra deck. We have one copy of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, one copy of Amulet Dragon, one copy of Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, one copy of Dark Cavalry. I hope that I said correctly. One copy of Quintet Magician, one copy of Mysterion the Dragon Crow, one copy of Shadow Construct. Now this is a target of our Super Poly, is very useful, is very powerful as a card in my opinion, so we play it. If you want to change it with another target, you can do it freely. Then one copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This is a very powerful card, but its price is rising in this moment, so if you want to carry it off, you can do it freely. Now, one copy of Predal Plant Dragostapelia, then one copy of Shadow Winda, one copy of Mad Dragon of the Swamp. I have to read the title because I do not remember the name in English. I remember it in Italian, some in Italian, other in English, but just the start. Anyway, it's strange. One copy of number 11, one copy of Daybreaker, the Splendid Magical Knight, how long this name, then Wee Witch Apprentice, and one copy of Crowley, the First Prophecy. It allows us to add one spellbook card from the deck to our hand. The second effect is even better. In fact, if we have to normal summon a spellcaster monster with level 5 or higher, we can do it without tributing, just once per turn, of course. Let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider to subscribe my channel and leave a like. Also, share the video with your friends. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and TikTok. And that's it for this video. We will see you again in the next one. But first we have to greetings each other with our formula, with our magic formula di batti le mani, schiocca le dita, segui Mazzeus tutta la vita.